To write a business plan, to even start a business for that matter, you're going to have to do your homework. I know I hate that word as much as you do, but in essence, you're going to have to research. You're going to have to become an expert on your market, on your product, on your service, on your customers, on your competition. And it all starts with research. Now, I often tell people you'll want to start with the magic portal of google.com. Now, when I started my business in the year 2000, we didn't have Google. So I had to go with the search engine of the day. And back then it was Yahoo and Lycos. But today we look at search engines like Bing and Google as some of the leading search engines. I'm going to talk about google.com. You pick the one that works best for you. Writing a business plan is going to require that you do a lot of research. Much of that research, again, can be found on the internet. Some of it you may have to go to the library or other sources, and we're going to talk about that. And by the way, I have links below this video of some of the resources we're going to talk about here in this video. Before you start pounding out your research, let's talk about some valid sources that you should use for your information. Now, to simplify this conversation, we're going to break it down into two very simple terms, two very simple sources of research. There is the source that is reliable, meaning you can almost count 100% on the information, or a good majority of the information is valid and reliable. The other source of research, making it very simple, is crap. Sorry, but that's what it is. Let's talk about some of the reliable sources that you can find out there. Now, there's the Better Business Bureau, and that has information on it about companies. Now, keep in mind, some of these trade websites may require you to spend a little money, so make sure that you pay attention to that. The Better Business Bureau does give you some information, and it might have some information you have to spend money on. I would go with all the free sources first before you spend any dollars. The other website that you might want to look at is the Dunn and Bradstreet website, and that's the link is below. The Bureau of Labor Statistics is another great website, and that's a U.S. bureau. All the links that I'm talking about here that are government related are going to be in the United States. There's the U.S. Census Bureau, the U.S. Department of Commerce, the Small Business Administration, the U.S. Department of Labor. There's also the IBISWorld website, SCORE, and then there are trade association websites that you can find out there. And sometimes they're specific to the industry or trade that you're entering into. For example, there is the National Federation of Independent Businesses or the National Restaurant Association. You might want to discover, are there any trade associations in the industry that you're wanting to operate in? You can also look at your state government to see if they have a Department of Commerce or some other department that deals with business. Now, you're going to need that website anyways, because you're eventually going to need to register with the state to get your state business license and so forth. So it's okay for you to already have that information. And then another place that you might want to consider is to look at the local Chamber of Commerce. Now, if you live in a more rural area or a smaller area that doesn't really have an active chamber, go to the nearest big town or city and look at what they have, because there might be they might be close enough for it to be relevant. And then, of course, there's also the Minority Chamber of Commerce. Now, there's one that's a national Minority Chamber of Commerce, and some areas actually have a local Minority Chamber of Commerce. And not just minority, but there's also in some areas of the country, things like the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. So look into those areas that are relevant to you. Stay away from things like Wikipedia. There's also a website called smallbusiness.crone, eHow, those type of websites. Those are usually on the crap side, meaning you can't rely on the information that's provided to you. When you're building a business plan, you want to make sure that you have the very best information possible. Okay, that's some basics of the research and the places to find the material. Again, look below this video. There are going to be a series of links that will take you off of this website off of this training. And so you might want to open them up and save them for later, but please make sure that you become aware of these research tools, because it's going to be extremely important for you to do your homework.